Hey everyone, KP here, your friendly neighborhood pastor. Hope everything is all right with you. Hope you're staying strong in the Lord. Um, you know, just once again, appreciate all the support and all the comments. Um, I'm just appreciative. I don't know what else to say, man, but thanks. So continue to like, continue to subscribe, continue to share. All right. And if you need to say some things, I'll gladly respond as best as I can. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. So I posted a video today. Father Daniel Nolan preached a powerful sermon. I don't want to make these videos too long, so I'm gonna do it in parts. All right. I'm gonna do it in parts so that it's not gonna be too long. Okay. In terms of the message that he presented today. Well, just before I get to that, so a lot of times as Seventh-day Adventists, we the tendency is to believe that we have the truth, we know the truth, and therefore God isn't able to speak truth through someone else, or God is not able to use somebody in order to do His will, to make something known to individuals. It's not true. And Father Daniel Nolan is a perfect example of that. Many examples of in the Bible where God used people who were not they were not serving Him like His own people. They were living up to the light that they had, right? And God used them. Nebuchadnezzar was one, right? Balaam was another one. It's so many examples that escapes me right now. Even with Joshua going into the promised land with the children of Israel. And that lady there, man. Oh, I'm trying to remember her name. Rahab the harlot, right? God can use anybody to do anything. He highlighted some powerful things. And I just want to take the time to mention them. Right. Let's see here. In terms of the sermon, the message he preached, he said it's a series, and that particular message was the last in the series. It's called Madness. I love it. I love it already. Right. So that's the Madness series. Then he started off with a quote, powerful quote, familiar quote. Those who are ignorant of history are doomed to repeat it. Those who are ignorant of history are doomed to repeat it. Facts. All facts. And once again, if you look at the Bible and you'll see how God led His people into the promised land and what they're supposed to do. I think the book of Judges begins by saying that a generation grew up that didn't know God nor the things that He had done. Right? I'm paraphrasing, but that's what happened. They forgot, and so they were repeating mistakes of the past. And as we're dealing with the pandemic right now, we're finding ourselves in the same situation. And in his message, he starts out by listing all the crimes, all the things that the United States medically, from a medical standpoint, did to individuals, certain cultural people, black folks, indigenous people, right? You name it. Poor people. They did these things, experimented on them, lied, covered it up, and they would have kept going if it wasn't exposed. God has a way of bringing these things to light. So he highlighted these things. And as we're dealing with the pandemic, we're seeing some of the same things done in the past, done right now. 2020, 2021, 2022. Same thing. And keep in mind that we are dealing with as I'm making these points, as Seventh-day Adventists, we're having discussions, we're wrestling with certain things happening in the Seventh-day Adventist Church now as it pertains to the pandemic and documents that we have put out. Just keep that in mind. So just not because he's a Catholic and he doesn't believe some of the things that we believe or do some of the things that we do, right? It doesn't mean that God can't speak through him. So if you're ignorant of history, you're doomed to repeat the past. When a country turns its back on God, it doesn't abandon him, it replaces him. All facts once again. It doesn't abandon God, it tries to replace God. And he's talking about all these institutions or these organizations that we have, governmental organizations, right? NIH, CDC, FDA. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. HHS, not just organizations, but also individuals. One whose name begins with A and last name F, right? He has become the face of science. To criticize him, in his own words, paraphrasing, to criticize him is to criticize science. I am science, right? We're replacing God. We're taking God out of the picture now. Governments run our lives. Organizations run our lives. Big pharma run our lives. He said here also, trust the science, trust the experts. It's a faith statement, or their faith statements, not science. No argumentation, no scrutiny, just trust. Hello. He said it's not science, it's faith. Though, when we talk about, trust science and trust the experts, you're not talking about science anymore. Investigation, argumentation, checking things out for yourself, forming conclusions and hypothesis. No, none of that has happened since 2020 came about. We're told to trust the media. Right? We're told to trust, this scientist, this doctor, this politician, everybody. You trust everybody. But, and if we try to appeal to faith and reason and faith, no, we don't need any of that. We just need you to just blindly trust. All right. What other point did he make here? He said here, we're asked to render to government pious submission of mind and will. Render to government pious submission of mind and will. Wow. Talk about dropping bombs. Father Daniel Nolan. Render to government pious submission of mind and will. Talking about government, our leaders, our organization, in some of the documents and some of the things that are said, social media, you name it, ever since 2020 came about. Romans 13, right? Let every person be subject to governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. Yeah, Adventists quoting this passage, or they are quoting Luke 20 verse 25. Render to Caesar, right? It says, 20 verse 25. Jesus said, well, if you go to 24, show me a denarius. Whose likeness and inscription does it have? They said Caesar's, and then he said to them, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's, right? Adventists using passages like this to tell us that we must render pious submission of mind and will. Remember when the lawyer was having a discussion with Jesus Christ? What must I do to have eternal life, right? Love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your soul, right? That's pretty much what we've been asked to do. These individuals or these institutions now have taken the place of God. No questions asked. Just do what they say and you'll be fine. Well, that's a lie. All right, so I'm gonna follow up with another video, right? Just like I said, I don't want to make this long. I want you to be able to hear it, okay? So take care of yourself. Thanks once again for supporting and for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, all right? Comment as well. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Remember, only what you do for Christ will last.